Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for London Club's Carnage. This is the final episode before the break. Do you know what I mean? We're going to go on a little break. All my weekly shows are going on a break before, obviously, the World Cup's coming up. We cover the Cubs. Well, we cover the clubs. And I need respite. Do you know what I mean? I need respite from Chelsea and speaking on this and getting trolled and dragged by my panels. So big up everybody in the building. Do you know what I mean? Potts is on top of the world. I think Arsenal fans are beginning to dream. I saw Cecil at the studio today. He's got his little Premier League top with Arsenal sitting at the top. He's printed it out. He's already ordered it. I'm starting to see people that were moving in silence are making some more noise. Christmas has come home. It's coming early. I don't know. Football's coming home. They're saying all these things. Potts, how you doing, bro? Talk to me.
I'm good, man. My t-shirt's on hold, Cecil. But I love you. But wow, let's not start ordering t-shirts, bro. Wow. But nah, listen, as on top of the world is an understatement, mate. I never expected this 14 games in to be 5 points clear going into the World Cup break, knowing that when we come back, we're on top of that table, man. That's what matters. And I'm just hoping that our ownership will back us now to actually say, let's go and do what we need to do in January to go for a title and not just accept top four, because I look below us and top four we've got to be a serious crumble if we don't get top four. So I'm on top of the world, bro. Top of the world. It's all good.
Flawless. Bottom of the world with me. How are we doing? I mean, it's not looking good, bro. You know what I mean? All them objectives, all those hopes, those dreams, those things that you wanted to accomplish this season, the teams that you wanted to talking to other teams right now. How are you feeling, sir?
Well, you know, the dreams are dashed. Fortune's always hiding, as they say. Dreams have been dashed by a crusty old Scottish bloke. It's not looking good, but there's glimmers of hope. You know what I mean? From the ashes, yeah, the phoenix will rise. Okay. Moyes
Liverpool have a phoenix. What do you guys have?
Irons.
You guys have irons. Liverpool's the one with the phoenixes.
Yeah, from the embers. Yeah, from the embers, you forge the iron. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be forged anew under a new manager eventually.
Tobe's wide-eyed there. How you doing, bro? You good? Tottenham with another win. I don't know how you man keep doing this shit. Really, it's insane to be honest.
Yeah, we won. Wasn't straightforward. I don't like the fact that we're going life and death with teams that we really should be beating comfortably. But unlike certain teams on this panel, we do enough to win the game, and we win the game. Simple.
Who do we start with? I mean, I'll let you guys decide. I mean, obviously...
Let's start with you, man. Let's start with you. Because, boy, it's another week in the pits of hell for you. You ain't used to this. You ain't used to this. And it shows. It really shows.
Third L in a row. I don't know what to do.
You ain't used to this. Because you were laughing you were laughing when it was me and Nuno last season. You were laughing when it was Arsenal and Arteta when he went on that 10 game. Do you remember that 10 game? Arteta should go. You always speak from your ivory tower.
Of course, because I'm the most successful panel. I'm the most successful person on the panel.
The most successful. Well, that's in the past. We're dealing with the present, and at present, your cheeks. You're absolutely cheeks. And I don't mean your cheeks in terms of your squad. I think your squad is good enough to still finish in the top four, but I mean your cheeks in terms of the fact that you just look like you can't do much right at the moment. You look like you can't really stop teams from scoring. You look like you can't really carve open teams. You're not scoring a lot of goals. You're just cheeks. I don't really know what to make of Chelsea under Graham Potter right now, because when I'm watching you guys play, I don't actually see what's being implemented here. I don't get it. Like, I'm so confused. I don't see a team that have a plan to win a game of football right now, and that's the worrying thing for a squad that you threw 280 odd million at. And before you say, oh yeah, he's working with one player from one regime, one player from another regime, one player from another regime. That part I understand, but furthermore, you cannot tell me that this Chelsea team is this bad that even with injuries you should be losing 3 on the trot. To Newcastle, to who did you lose to? To Newcastle, Brighton, and Arsenal. I think he's got one. It's like no How many wins is it? It's like he's got like no win in your last like 6 Premier League matches or something like that. Something.
I think it's
something
5.
mad.
I think it's 5. Yeah.
Something absolutely mad, and it's like Potter will get his chance. Potter will get his time, and he's a new manager, and he has license to experiment. But there has to be some logic to your experimentations. Is that the word? Experiments. There has to be some sort of logic to your experiments. And genuinely, same thing I said on the Big Six last week. I can't for the life of me understand what he's trying right now.
I think what it is, Tobes, is at the moment, right? It's as if somebody has said to him, I've just come back from Lakeside. Here's 500 clothes. And he's just trying everyone on every week. And I don't like that one. Nope, don't like that one. Nope, don't like that one. I don't like Cucurella. I don't like him. I've got to put Lewis Hall in there now. Nope, don't like him. Cucurella has to come back on. I'm like, wow. I mean, you must be doing some form of training and know what you believe at the moment 6 weeks in your best 11 is. And I'm not dishing Pottery, by the way, because I think he's a quality manager. I like him a lot. But there does come a time when you have to look at the manager and go, what is it you're trying to do? Because I see them trying to go direct against Arsenal, against Ben White, Saliba and Gabriel. That didn't work. I see them then trying to do changes in midfield. I never know if it's going to be Gallagher, if it's going to be Rubens Loftus-Cheek, if Jorginho is going to play, is Kovacic going to start? I couldn't name the Chelsea 11. I don't think Chelsea fans could. We're now seeing Broja go up top. I'm okay with that because things weren't working, but that didn't work either. So I don't know, Matisse. There's a lot wrong with it at the moment, bro. It just doesn't seem settled.
Sorry, Matisse. You know what is Potts as well, yeah? Like, nobody's going to condemn Graham Potter for struggling at Chelsea, but you're going to condemn a manager when he's doing things that literally cannot make any ounce of sense. Like, you made a good point around how it's like he's got 500 pros, he's trying them on. He's not even trying them on normally. It's like he's trying them on backwards, or he's wearing a cap on his arm, or he's wearing trousers around his chest. It don't make any sense. When you look big man thing, when you look at how he's look at that lineup that you saw against Newcastle, that was a shambolic lineup. You're telling me that
Mason Mount, Gallagher, and Amanda
that's what you play. Where was the width? Last week when we spoke about the directness, where was the width? I heard that Lewis Hall came into the team because Cucurella wasn't feeling well, and obviously Ben Chilwell was injured. So I don't even. That's calm. I watched that.
He had a good performance against City.
Exactly. I watched highlights of the game against Man City, and he looked like one of your brightest players. So that's understandable, fair. But what I didn't understand is where on earth have you decided that Gallagher and Mount in the attacking positions behind Broja is the best thing to do when you saw Ziyech, similar mentality. You saw Ziyech have a positive game against Man City, albeit Man City's B team, and your Sterling's injured, yeah. Why would you not play Ziyech? Pulisic, you know what I think of him. But again, needs must situation. Why would you not play him? The team that he put out against Newcastle, every single person knew from the jump, they're not winning this game of football because how are they going to score goals? How's this team going to score goals?
No idea. Bro, what you guys are saying is complete facts. And my biggest thing right now is that if he was playing chopping and changing, which he is with the team, but I haven't got a problem with that because Cover's injured. Koulibaly's been in and out with fitness. Fofana's out, James, Kante, all these guys are out, and then you've got sometimes there's players that are like Cucurella who's ill and Chilwell was in and now he's out. So I understand that he's gonna not be able to keep a consistent team out there because it's just not possible when you play 9 games in say the October period. You're not gonna be able to play the same team. You're gonna have to rotate. And I'm not even expecting him to play the same formation because if you looked at what he did at Brighton, he played a load of different formations. But just because you play loads of different formations doesn't mean you don't play the same style. I've seen Arsenal revert to a 3 at the back at times, tuck in White and push up, say, Zinchenko into the double pivot with Partey. That's a different formation on the ball. That's a 3 with a double pivot. You still play the same way. You still have the same principles. You still have the same philosophy. So it's not really about formation for me. It's about what are you trying to play? How are you trying to play? Like you guys said, against Arsenal, it was to go direct. In this game, I don't know what it was. We didn't press from the front. Newcastle pressed. We didn't press. We didn't try to keep the ball. We couldn't keep the ball. The passing was horrendous. Kovacic, again, not very good at all. I don't know if he's still injured or what, but he's fallen off. And a lot of the times, what we're starting to see with our midfielders is that they were good, but they've been rushed back from injuries so many times because of a lack of depth and a lack of replacements. Then they're now starting to regress because of that. we we couldn't attack. There was, like you said, there's no wingers. I don't understand what Gallagher and what Mason Mount are going to do when they get into the wide areas. They're not skillful enough. They're not quick enough to get past their man. They're not wingers. They're eights. And I think the reason why Potter's got to take a lot of blame is because he's asking players to do so many different jobs now that it's impossible for them to get any rhythm and any understanding. Because 1 minute Gallagher's playing as a 10. Then he's moved back into midfield. Then he's playing right wing back at one point as well. I think in the second half he was playing right wing back. So people are just playing all over the place. I don't get why he's not playing Pulisic and Ziyech. He played one good game, so I'm not going to get onto him too much for that. I thought Amari Hutchinson should have been brought on as well. That's a young player that's doing very well in the youth team. Give him a go. Do you know what I mean? You've got nothing to lose. Again,
for us as well in the youth
lack of bravery. Yeah, but lack of bravery, bro. Because how many lineups am I going to see a very passive mentality? Against Manchester United, it was defensive. Against Arsenal, again, passive. And against Newcastle, we had 6 midfielders in the starting 11. Before Loftus-Cheek went off injured, we had 6 midfielders. Lewis Hall is a centre midfielder. You had Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho, Cover, Mason Mount, Gallagher. That's 6 midfielders. And we still didn't dominate the midfield. How do you play 6 central midfielders? I think we played 5 against Brighton. And we don't dominate the midfield.
But how much of that, Matisse, I actually agree with most of what you're saying there, to be fair. But how much of it is Potter and how much of it is lack of quality? Because I'm used to...
It is a lack of quality as well, but we shouldn't be 8th.
You see what I mean? Okay, that's fair. But I'm used to Drogba, Zola and Hazard, and I'm seeing Pulisic, Havertz and Broja. How far is this drop-off, mate? And this is serious because, Gallagher, I like Conor Gallagher, I do. I think he's a good player. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, not bad player, but are they top Chelsea quality or is that drop-off just gone now?
It is a drop-off. Yeah,
it's a massive drop.
You've got to find a way to be grinding out results at least to keep the team ticking over enough to get to that January transfer window. Keep himself close to the conversation with a touching distance, because if they keep just losing and he's experimenting because they're losing and you're falling away, then it's not good enough. Just find a way to shithouse some wins here and there.
Well, when we go through that team though, the players that you just mentioned, with Loftus-Cheek, Pulisic, Ziyech, none of these players are world class. They're not top players. So they're all inconsistent. They might give you a great performance. Well, they might give you a good performance, but they certainly ain't going to give you consistent performances. And again, maybe I wouldn't even say if you played them consistently, you get consistent performance, because I believe that these players have got attributes that are missing. There was a moment where Pulisic dribbled past a couple of players, but then because of the lack of strength and upper body strength that he has, he was barged off the ball in a moment where he could have maybe been able to get a shot off because he's too weak. You know what I mean? So all these guys have their frailties. There's so many attributes and limitations, whether it be physically from so many players, so many weak players. Chelsea used to be known as a strong team. Kai Havertz is weak. Pulisic is weak. Jorginho is weak. The team is weak. So
go on.
There's a lot of people that can just get bodied, period. Let alone we get to a technical standpoint. They can just be bullied so easily, this team. It's easy to bully them.
My thing is, you look at the Newcastle team. Obviously, Newcastle are way ahead in their development. But you look at the Newcastle team, man for man, that beat Chelsea. How many of those Newcastle players start at Chelsea? Joe Willock don't start.
Bruno Guimaraes.
Almiron, yeah, he's on fire right now. But let's be real. Is Almiron starting at Chelsea? No.
Well, who's starting over him right now, really?
No, on form. Yeah, as I said, on form, he'll probably get in. But I'm saying, generally speaking, if Chelsea were to go out and sign Almiron now, do you think the fans would be happy? Do you really think that Almiron's good enough to be playing for a side that's challenging for major honours? Let's be real.
It's working for Ivan Toney now. I see them begging for Toney.
All I'm saying is this. Chelsea have enough about them to go to Newcastle and put up a better performance than we did, than we saw on the weekend. They were pathetic. They barely created anything. And I look at the midfield composition again. You knew the team you were playing. Newcastle are a very physical side. They press high from the front, and they have 3 midfielders who are very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very, very adequate when it comes to midfield duels. I watched Zakaria against, who was it you played? Zagreb? I can't remember.
Yeah, Zagreb,
and he was really good.
Again, I wanted him to play.
I've not seen that brother since.
Bro, Joe Linton. Bruno Guimaraes, you'd think that's a physical battle. Let's get a physical guy in there, but no.
And I feel like he could have done a job in that game, and I just feel like Graham Potter, he's doing too much, and he's doing way too much of his team for minimal reward. Like, there's nothing. Chelsea are playing no style right now. It's just
it was a bottom 5 Premier League performance. Bottom 5. Like, we couldn't keep the ball. It was awful.
The performance and the style, like, it's just nothing. Literally nothing. I'm seeing nothing in the last 3 matches. Probably the last 4 matches, I'm seeing zilch from this Chelsea team. So I'm like, you're making all these weird radical changes, and it's reaping no benefit. It just needs to be logical. Like, just give Newcastle was always going to be a difficult game, but just give yourself a fighting chance.
A lot of some Chelsea fans online are obviously already losing patience with Potter. Now a lot of people say, "Oh, that's just Chelsea fans being impatient." I think all Chelsea fans should know that we need a long-term manager. Hiring and firing is not working. But I think their combat is, just because I want long-term stability doesn't mean I believe this is the guy that we can do that with. I might want someone else to do that, which is fair enough. When you guys look at managers, right, in the modern day and just as supporters, how much does charisma, personality, and just the way they carry themselves and what you see them doing on the touchline, the intangibles, right? The barking of instructions, the emotion, all that kind of stuff. How much does that play a part? Because a lot of fans will look at Potter right now and they'll say, he's quite boring. His answers are very plain. I don't watch his press conferences, but I don't really care. But they're not entertaining. They're not interesting to listen to. I'm not gonna lie. Tuchel's press conferences when he first joined, I was listening to them every single minute. But these ones, I'm not. I know Toby had an infatuation with Conte. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but how much does this stuff play a part for you guys when you're looking at a manager?
I think it's when you're winning and losing. Like, if you're winning, it comes across great. The passion is like amazing. When Brighton were winning games, Graham Potter was still coming across like that, but nobody was saying, "Oh, he's boring. He doesn't show any passion on the sidelines." They were all saying he's humble and he's doing well and he's not getting carried away. So it's about winning games of football. And I think sometimes everybody wants the Jurgen Klopp, a Conte, and Arteta going absolutely mental, running up and down the line all the time. But when you're not winning, it's kind of goes completely against it. And then people start to question, oh, why are they getting so excited? They need to calm down and sit themselves down. So I think when it's all about winning in terms of that, I like it because I think it shows passion and desire, but it needs to be in the right way, not for the cameras for me. But with Potter, he's just never going to be like that. He's just not that character.
I disagree in a way, just from my own experience of looking at when we had Slaven Bilic now. Slaven Bilic was passionate. He was better in front of the camera. He was a likable guy. And that bought him a bit more time than other managers like David Moyes. And his personality, or lack thereof, doesn't do him any favors. And it makes you less likely to try and see the glass half full than half empty if it comes down. Same as Big Sam. Big Sam, ultimately did a good job at West Ham. His personality was shit. He was a miserable bastard. Didn't get up on the sideline. That can go against you even more when you're losing. But if you haven't got that, it's one of those things. If you've got that personality, you're more likely to just overlook something. Like with Slaven Bilic, it took me a long time to turn around and go, it's time to go. Yeah. And I still look back on Slaven Bilic fondly.
Because you had an emotional connection.
Yeah, you have an emotional connection with the manager. Like, you feel like, yes, they buy into my football club. They care. They're like me. They're a fan. And like Slaven Bilic will always be one of my favorite managers because I had that connection. And like I said, someone like Moyes, you're sitting there and we're scoring goals and you're like, fucking smile, you prick. Like, what is wrong with you? We've just scored a goal and you're sitting there like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I think there's definitely something to that. Should it be that way? Maybe not, but that's just human nature. Likeable people, you're going to see less flaws in them. You're going to try and see less flaws in people you like versus people you don't like, and vice versa,
I do think the passion thing definitely helps. It's a bonus. Like, you love when a manager is enthusiastic, being in that dugout and basically sort of channels the same enthusiasm into your club as much as you do, it definitely adds something. It's why I love managers like Conte. I love managers like Poch. Like, and they're two different managers, but like Poch loved, like he spoke positively about the club every single time, whereas Conte, very, very passionate, very, very fierce. He wants the club to do well whilst he's here anyway. So those type of managers will always resonate with you. But bottom line is, if the manager isn't good enough, he's not good enough. And I don't think Graham Potter, I'm not saying Graham Potter isn't good enough. I'm just saying that I think he needs to let his football do the talking. Like, we know that he's not some charismatic guy, but I think he's trying, to be honest. You look at his switch up, he's gone from this scruffy guy, and now he's getting like slicker haircuts, and he's wearing suits and stuff. Like, I think somebody behind the scenes has told him, listen, now you're the big boys now. You gotta act like you belong. Yeah. I think he's trying to a certain extent, but ultimately it's what he does and implements on the pitch that will be the most decisive. That's the rope. That's the rope.
If he had that personality package with it, then there might be a little bit more patience. Like, certain people might not be so quick to say, "Oh no," because they like it.
There's people micro-analyzing every word in his press conference, and they're saying, you know, after a City defeat in midweek in the Carabao Cup, where we actually played all right, but unfortunately we couldn't finish for shit. They're like, oh, he, you know, his comments, he sounds like he's happier with the performance, and where's his standards, and, you know, why isn't he, does he think he's at Brighton and all these things? And I have no doubts he's a very, very good coach. You know, this is what it's all about. When it comes down to him, Eddie Howe, people are always like, you know, give them a job in the top 6. They deserve it. Let's see how they do. English young managers, schooled in Sweden, schooled here, schooled there. They're not like your usual Gerrards and Lampards who have kind of just been given everything on a silver spoon. And you do have to give them time to actually see if they're going to be able to step up to this level. It's all about whether he can handle personalities, big personalities, because at top clubs, you're going to come across egos. You're going to come across, I mean, we can see with the Ronaldo situation, literally, do you know what I mean? You got to handle these things. And that's my only, I'm not even going to say concern, but that's my question mark, is whether he can handle big
What gets
names.
him sacked for you, Matisse? What gets him sacked?
It's mad that people are already saying that he should get sacked.
I think it's crazy, but what would get him sacked? Because he would get sacked. Say you come no silverware and you come 15th, he's going to get sacked, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's gone.
There
He's
you
gone.
go.
So
100%.
what is the
for me,
we keep him or no, he's got to go? Like,
I mean, for me, if he has to get sacked, it would be incredibly embarrassing on the board, because they gave him a 5-year contract with a 12 million a year deal. So that would reflect extremely poorly
He's
on
on
them.
12 million a year.
What?
Yeah, he's on 60 million contract, 5 years. This is why you didn't know this.
No, I didn't know that either.
Bro, he can't be sacked.
He's
really,
earning
because
3 million less than Conte.
he's on a massive contract, and we brought in half of Brighton's recruitment team and their coaches.
If you sack him, that's basically going to cost you like a top quality player. To value for top.
Bro, because remember, we brought in all of Brighton's coaches as well, their assistant manager. So we can't just sack him. He is. We have paid a lot of money to bring him.
You fans might as well chill on this pot.
That's what I'm saying is, for me, they should have been chilling on that regardless, because you haven't given them even a transfer window. But for me, listen, it would take a lot. He would have to show no signs of any style of play. He would have to make poor decisions in the transfer market, even though really it shouldn't even be down to him. It should be down to the recruitment team anyway, not him. But he should be working alongside them, you know, not addressing the right things, not understanding the positions that need rectifying, etc., handing out new bumper contracts to players that are past it, things like that. But that would reflect poorly on the overall regime. I don't think right now I'm judging Potter. I'm judging everyone, because everyone's new. I'm judging Todd Boehly at the same time I'm judging Potter. At the same time I'm judging any new scout. At the same time I'm judging head of recruitment. I think right now at Chelsea there's a fixation with manager. And I'm not saying that he's blameless. He's definitely made stupid decisions for me, or silly decisions with his lineups, or his substitutions have been awful recently, like really, really bad. But I'm not looking at this as Potter. I'm looking at this as everyone, because they're trying to create something together as a unit. They're bringing in, everything's fresh, everything's new.
Which is why this World Cup break is coming at a perfect time for Chelsea now. He can really sit there, plan, analyze, look at what he's got. Do some preseason with the players that aren't going to the World Cup, and really get ready, because he was sort of thrust into it, like, you know, in the middle of a season going on. So I think that's a positive.
Nobody has any credit in the bank. The owner hasn't won anything. The manager hasn't won anything. The scouts haven't scouted anybody. So everybody's in the same boat. So everybody talking about manager out. Oh, I can't take this. Let's go and get this guy. What about Todd Bowie? What do we say about him? That's a failure. So anybody right now is everybody's being judged together.
It's the culture of your club has been built that way for so long that as soon as a manager goes down, starts to slip, gone, get the new guy in. Like
people won't snap out of it, but you have to snap out of it because literally this is not the same Chelsea. It's not possible for it to be the same Chelsea. They literally had their whole foundations ripped up and started again. So yeah, I'm welcome for the break. I think Potter's welcome for the break. Maybe he's not doing his talking in pressers, and maybe he's even on the training ground apparently a bit quiet. But if he's ruthless in the market and he gets rid of the players that need to get rid of, then fair enough. But yeah, unless anybody else wants to take shots at Chelsea, I'd like to move on.
I think we've said enough.
You're satisfied, Toby? I know you like to feast.
Toby loves taking shots at Chelsea. He talks about Chelsea more than you.
You're muted, bro. You're muted.
That's for the best.
I've drank my fill here, and I'll continue the rest on the big six.
Oh, okay, cool, fantastic. This guy is a fucking monster. Where do we go next? I mean, if we're starting with L's, we may as well continue with L's, right? Lawless. I mean, you lost at home to Leicester. Their resurgence has continued because you've lost at home. James Maddison whacked one into the roof of the net, and another defeat. And West Ham now currently 16th, is it, or 15th? I don't know.
They're
nowhere near the top six. That's all that matters.
Oh, that's all that matters to you.
West Ham are currently
16th
and only 1 point off the relegation zone. 1 point from Nottingham. You're 1 point away from Nottingham Forest, who have minus
7 points from the top 7, by the way.
No. Listen to what I said. 1 point off the relegation. Stop trying to twist.
No, I'm responding to Toby's comment that we're nowhere near the top 6. We're 2 wins away from the top 6.
We've also played a game more as well.
More than who? More than
literally every team in the.
We played one more game more than you.
It's fair to say, Lawless, though. You should probably focus on who's behind you, right? You should probably focus on who's behind you, right?
Huh? I'm just saying, Tobes has made an inaccurate statement, and
I haven't. I said you've played a game. You said we're 7 points off the top 7, off 7th spot, and I said, yeah, you've also played a game more.
But we don't care about. Remember, we've been here, Tobes. Games in hand don't mean shit. What did it mean for us?
It does when teams above you win and you keep losing. That's your third.
I know. I'm just saying. I have to address Tobes' inaccurate statements. Currently,
you're level on points of Everton. Talk to me.
They've lost more games at home than they've won.
What's going on? Because bro, this is. You're lucky there's a break too. I'm lucky, but you're also lucky because if you keep going like this, you'll be in a relegation zone, and that is embarrassing. Considering how much money you guys look at it, man.
I don't know how to look at it that if we are lucky or not, because it seems like a stay of execution. It seems like we're prolonging the pain.
Is he getting the back in?
Yeah, it's like, well, he's getting the back. Not that ever means anything. Oh, we back him and we support him. How many times we heard that a manager's got to get sacked? Rumor is that's coming out from pro board or sources that are close to the board that he's got 3 games. The next 3 games, and he has to get a minimum of 5 points. If this
Arsenal,
is true,
Brentford, and who?
Now, Leeds
Arsenal,
away.
Brentford, and Leeds
so
away.
Arsenal is guaranteed loss. Brentford at home, maybe a win. That's 3 points. Leeds away, our away record is shit. So
why guaranteed loss?
Yeah, Moyes hasn't beat any of the money 6 away from home ever in his career in the league in the Prem. So that's his record. So
I don't know what. I honestly, you're going to hate me for saying this, Lawless, but I think this is a reality check for West Ham fans that have tried to shoehorn themselves in to the Big 6 team, Big 6 clubs, and all this for the last couple of seasons. That you've had one season where you did very well and you got 5th or 6th, was it? Then last season. So last season you got semis, but you were no good in the league. Well, season before that you was good.
1 point off 6th.
That's not in the Big 6, though, is it? Apparently you're a Big 6
1 point off 6th.
So this is a reality check that even if after spending 175 million, you're still trash, right? So that to me says that you have been over the top.
You're so
and
ruthless.
All of your fans. all of your fans that have been trying to shoehorn West Ham into the big six and we're up there with the big boys now. We should be respected. We should be spoken about as a European club. And then they start poo-pooing the fact that Newcastle are playing well and they can't hack it and they get salty every time we start talking about Newcastle but doing well. You would love to be in their position. You would love it. And then all you do is start talking about how much money they've spent in comparison to you, even though you've spent 175 million in the last summer transfer window and still look cack. So I don't know where you go from here, but maybe it's a reality check that West Ham just aren't as good as perhaps you thought they were. And you now need to take a look at yourselves and think, right, maybe we look a bit silly now for saying that we were going to finish above Newcastle and Man United easily.
This is a spirit.
What a load of rubbish.
This is a spiritual
rubbish about it?
Wow. All right, let me tell you. This is what.
Tell me what I've said that's rubbish. Tell me what I've said that's rubbish.
I spend all my time on Twitter arguing with deluded West Ham fans, right? And stick up with Moyes, all this. You make me have to come now and defend my club. You put me in these situations so everyone thinks I'm deluded because I can't stand for the slander that you throw at my club. Am I deluded? You have you seen my tweets? Do you see me trying to argue about your tweets?
I care about what you say here about your club. You're deluded.
Yeah, because you lot throw so much slander, I have to defend my club.
No. We don't throw slander. You talk up West Ham to be something they're not, and then when we oppose that and then slander you, you start acting up.
Twist my words. That's
what did I twist? What have I twisted?
You always twist my words and act as if I'm saying, yeah, we're established top 6 side, yeah?
Did you not say you're basically above Newcastle United?
You never come out with... do you know what? I want to use so much receipts, but let me... On the Newcastle front, yeah? You just sat there and said how I got carried away because we had one good season and thought we was up there with the big boys. However, you, have come out and said after Newcastle, not one good season, 3 good months? Yeah, and now, in your opinion, Newcastle up there with the big boys. So who's getting carried away? Was it okay for him after what, a season and a half, a 6th and a 7th place finish?
Where are Newcastle in the league, by the way?
Yeah, Newcastle are 3rd. We've been there.
Where West Ham?
We've been there. 16th. Newcastle been there too.
Yeah, they have. But look at what they're doing and look at what they're going to spend. West Ham are never ever. I tell you this now. I will put money with you that West Ham are completely, in my opinion, now finished for anywhere near European places. Anywhere near it.
What you're saying ever?
No, unless there's a takeover or something mad. I think for the foreseeable future, I don't see West Ham.
What's the name of that Donny that this guy was mentioned? Krasinski
or something? Zabrinsky or something.
Remember the name, Kretinsky. Daniel Kretinsky.
Kretinsky, yeah, unless Kretinsky.
So if this brother goes against... Yeah,
there you go. Again, the Czech Republic shareholder again.
Yeah, this guy who's apparently going to save West Ham. If this guy goes and spends 4 billion on players, then I might change my mind. But for the foreseeable, bro, I do not see West Ham anywhere near Europe, mate. You better hope, Lawrence, for 2 reasons. That one, you win this Europa Conference because you'll get roasted not just on this channel but on my channel and on all the other channels you're on for saying they're going to win it. And that's the only way you've got to get back into Europe, bro, because you ain't going to get it through the league, mate. You are stuffed, bro. You look so bad.
And if we do get into Europe, you're fully in the mud. You are fully.
But let's be real.
Okay, then.
Right
Go
now,
and do it.
You're not looking anywhere near like touching Brighton and Newcastle, really, are you? You're not looking like you're going to get anywhere.
Even Fulham.
I think Fulham should tail off, but I think Brighton and Newcastle, I think, can sustain it enough to keep West Ham out of the conversation. Even Leicester, the team you just lost to, they got a good manager and they got a good team. Emery at Aston Villa's got a good team, good manager, and Aston Villa now 2 wins on the bounce. I don't see you getting well ahead of these teams. You might be in and amongst it if you act, and I don't know what that entails, what that looks like, because you do have a good team as well. But you're playing catch up now, so I don't know.
Anyone with eyes can see it. Anyone can see that we have
maybe Matisse. They just need to sack Moyes, get Poch in, and then they'll be okay. They'll win the Europa Conference League, get into the top 6, and they'll be fine.
All jokes aside, though, similar to Chelsea, West Ham's team simply is too good for.
I love you, Lawless.
For where they should be right now, I mean, for where they are currently right now, they have a squad that absolutely should be challenging for 7th, 8th, 9th spots, and even potentially 6th. I'll be real with Lawless. Even potentially 6th. the squad, the money that they've pumped into their team, and the players that they have at their disposal, why not? Why can't they be up there challenging when teams with big man team, when teams with less resources are up there? Like, you can't tell me that Brighton have a better squad than West Ham. You can't tell me that even Newcastle, as well as they are, even though they're thriving, and one of the few times I'll stick up with Lawless, even Newcastle, once they're thriving, you can't tell me man for man Newcastle have a better squad than West Ham. It's not true. It's not true. But the problem is with West Ham is there are some players in that squad that Lawless has overgassed, and fundamentally, similar to Graham Potter, David Moyes, he's not doing a good job with that team this season. He's not doing a good job with the team.
That is facts. He is doing a shocking job.
And that's the thing. When you look at Newcastle, Eddie Howe has impressed me. And there's something about that guy. He comes across like a good man manager, someone that you want to run through a brick wall for. Yeah. Moyes' man management is dog shit. I'm sorry. It's absolute dog shit. And he doesn't seem to have a plan or clue what to do with all of these new signings. He's got Scamacca there running up all around up there on his own, hoping that he's going to knock the ball down and run through on his own. Like we keep signing players and we don't play to their strengths. He's done it again. So I don't see a way out if he keeps doing the same thing over and over again.
You said you were unlucky to lose to Leicester. Obviously, you had a lot of shots. He said 0 big chances missed. I know Danny Ward made a few saves. He said you were unlucky to lose the game. Would you say that's accurate?
No, I mean, Maddison scored a great goal and dipped. Yeah, he left.
Yeah,
he was their best player. They didn't have their best player for most of the game. We have to wait to go a goal down before we decide to open up and play, because we have no choice. When you're losing, you can't sit back deep and park the bus and then hope they come onto you, because they don't need to. They're winning. So that's why it's at that point where it's like we got nothing to lose. Let's go for it. Let's unleash the shackles a bit, right? But with all of this possession that we had, which was still only marginally, we had 54% possession, so it's not like we completely dominated the game. But what's that?
They missed the penalty, Leicester.
Yeah. So they got they missed. Fabianski saved the penalty. Yeah, so that would have been game over right then and there. Let's be real. But it's like, really and truly, we're doing stuff. Ben Rama's making things happen, but we're not creating enough clear-cut chances to test the goalkeeper. When you look at how many shots, versus shots on target, right? For us, and this is like a regular occurrence. The shots we had in this game, and there we go, right? Shots 18, 6 on target. That's a 6 on target is like a high for us. But because the chances aren't clear enough, we just take a shot. Because there's nothing open, so you just hit and hope. We're not testing goalkeepers, so it tells me that the way we're playing in the build-up is not good enough to open teams up, and we don't open teams up and carve out like deadly chances where you're like, oh my god, how are we not going for that? We have to try and squeeze the ball through like a few defenders and try and squeeze it in the far corner or something. It's worrying. And Bowen still plays.
He still plays. I was going to bring him up. Where's Max Cornet? Is he injured still?
Apparently, yeah, he's injured. So
I was really excited to see what he could do at West Ham, because I thought he did a great job at Burnley, considering who he was playing for and the players he was playing with.
Good player.
I think he's a
good
player.
He's the only player we signed with any pace, and this is the problem.
And that's the thing. Yeah. Bowen's not slow, is he? Or is he just not got no acceleration?
Samaka, you mean?
No, Bowen.
Oh, Bowen.
He's not slow, but he's not rapid. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's good in Jared Bowen, he's good in transition, but he's not got blistering pace. And when you deep,
he's not explosive.
They don't. West Ham do lack a lot of explosiveness on the flanks. I think the most when it comes to speed, it's Cornet, Antonio when he plays there, and Bowen. Ben Rama's not blistering. He's not quick. Fornals isn't quick. Who's the other option you have?
Paqueta.
Yeah, he's not. But Lanzini's not quick. Lanzini.
No.
Yeah, and that's a problem. But then it's the question of what Moyes wants to play. Like, because there's all this rumor about he wanted to transition from being a counter-attacking side to a possession-based side, right? And that's why, that's the only reason why I could think of why we haven't signed more pace in the team and we've only just signed Cornet. Because if you're going to continue to be a counter-attacking side, then you have to get more pace in the team, right? But we haven't got that. However, if we're transitioning to this possession-based team, I'm not seeing the signs there that that's what we're trying to be, apart from the personnel he puts out there. Yeah, there's a few times we play out from the back here and there, but we're not. We're always have less possession than the other teams because we sit there and we're happy to sit deep and we don't press. We don't press high.
He doesn't strike me as a possession-based coach, though. He doesn't strike me as someone that would then go and teach or train a team how to play with the ball. So,
but then why sign Scamacca? Why sign Paqueta? Like Scamacca has played.
Is that pressure from the board to play a certain brand of football and then he can't match that? Or the fans?
You know, the weird thing is the board pressured Big Sam to play in attacking football, back when we had him in Big Sam's last season. They said, listen, either you play attacking football or you're gone. And somehow, some way, this guy played some of the best football I've ever seen at West Ham. It was amazing.
This is the 2013-14 season, right?
Yes.
The one before
14-15. 14-15.
Was it 14-15? Yeah, 14-15. Yeah. It might have been. No, I thought it was 13-14.
You know, because Bilic came in 15-16. So Big Sam.
I'm not talking 15-16. So there was a season. It was the one where you slapped us 3-0 at White Hart Lane with Ravel Morrison, and then the season after that you were decent as well.
Yeah, the season after that when Moyes started playing really attacking football, when he played the diamond formation with Stuart Downing.
Allardyce.
Allardyce, yeah. He played
that. Downing was down, 2013.
The top four at Christmas under Big Sam, right? And then Kevin Nolan and Andy Carroll come back in, and all of a sudden we go back to hoofball.
Yeah, well,
and then
of course.
Big Sam gets sacked. We played brilliant, so it can be done. If Big Sam can do it, anyone can do it. But I just don't know what the plan is. But I'm sorry to these fans, you cannot spend 170 million pounds on new players and not know what the fuck to do with them, and us still sit there and go, oh, it's transition. Where's the transition? Like, to transition, it means you have to go from one to another, right? So there's got to be that middle period. So you're seeing the transition. Yeah, you're seeing it. I can't see. You don't just go, right, we're going to play like this. We're going to be really shit and give up possession. Then we're going to be this great attacking side. That's not a transition. It don't make sense, and I get so annoyed with these deluded fans, man, on Twitter. Like the shit that I see, and I post some of it in the group chat. I show some of you guys because I'm like, this is what you think I am, and it's
what we know you are.
I've never ever come out with some of the shit.
The only reason why you're calling them deluded is because they don't agree with your opinion. They want Moyes to stay. You want Moyes gone.
Is he harsh for wanting Moyes gone at this point, though? Or how? If you guys were like Potts and Tobes, if you were fans of West Ham and you were currently in 16th, and obviously I know Moyes done a great season last year with the European success and semi-final achievement, and then obviously the year before he come 6th in the league. Where would your patience be at for him? Would you give him the whole season?
I would have more patience than Lawless. I would give him the opportunity to. Try and turn it around. I wouldn't sack him in November, 14 games into the season. You've still got like 2/3 of the season to go. I think he's earned that right to have that credit in the bank when you look at what he's done for West Ham the last 2 years in Europe and in the league. So I do think he has credit in the bank, but I can also understand where Lawless is coming from, because he's thinking, you know what, listen, thanks for the memories, but if we can get a better manager in, we could potentially salvage our season. I'm always going to side with the manager in this instance. When the manager has done what Moyes has done for West Ham, considering where he picked them up from in the last 2 years, I'm always going to side with the manager and give them as much patience as I can. They've earned that patience. They've earned that patience for me.
Yeah, but
I would only replace him if the manager was out there that was going to. If you're going to replace him with Allardyce, what's the point? You've got to replace him with someone who you think is actually going to take you to the next level. And whether that be, what's his name, Ruben Amorim or whatever his name is from Sporting Lisbon. If you like that style and you think he's an upcoming manager or something like that, then that could be the route you go down. If you want to go and get somebody who's proven to win stuff over the past, like someone available like Rafa Benitez, and you think that's better than Moyes, go do that. I don't know, but there needs to be somewhere that you believe, yes, I am happy with that appointment. Otherwise, just keep Moyes, because it's a results business at the end of the day, and you've spent 175 million, and the results business means this guy has not got long left, in my opinion. So yeah, I would only sack him if there is somebody out there that I believe is better than David Moyes, and you need to look at who that somebody is, because I don't think Mancini and Poch will be the ones looking at this job thinking, yeah, do you know what, that looks very tempting. I just don't see it, but I might be wrong.
I think they missed out on Emery massively. I think Emery would have.
Yeah, that would have been a good shot.
The timing's just shit. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want Moyes out because I'm sitting there thinking he's going to get us relegated. I worry that he's going to ruin one of the best squads that we've had in a very long time, and he is not capable of getting the most out of this team. And when I look at quality players like Scamacca and Paqueta, I'm hearing our fans already call them shit, useless, waste of money. And it's like, how many times are we going to see this guy make top quality players look shit? Like, Paqueta is Brazilian's number 10.
Yeah.
And we're having our fan base sit there and go, he's a waste of
money. Are
they
really saying that he's not good enough?
Yeah, there's a lot of our Dom, who's a regular on our thing. I was having a big debate with him. He was sitting there saying Paqueta's useless, Scamacca's useless. He's a waste of money.
He ain't look great, and neither Scamacca, but well, actually, Scamacca's doing all right, to be fair. But yeah, again, is that the player? Is that Moyes? Yeah, you know what I mean. So
if these players are used to playing a possession-based game, and we don't have the possession, and he don't have the players around him to link up and play off, like, what are we expecting? Why does he keep doing this? Why does he keep expecting these players and shoehorn them into how he wants to play? Don't sign them. And I said this to Dom, if we want a Brexit team that's just going to run around like headless chickens for 90 minutes, he should have signed Brexit players, yeah? He should have signed them, but he didn't. He went to Sassuolo and got Scamacca. He went to Lyon and got Paqueta, yeah? So play to their strengths. Like, are you stupid? Like, you're spending nearly 100 million pounds on these type of players, and you're not trying to play to their strengths. So what's the plan? And that's my problem with Moyes. Not so much like, if we don't sack him, we're going down. It's egregious to keep doing this, to keep having these big money players. And
I think Scamacca's a very good player.
I gave him a pass for Haller because that's not your player. You didn't sign him. Cool. But look at this, right? You think I'm deluded? Look at this. If a few better finishes, scored penalties, and none of those silly VAR decisions, we'd probably be having our best season. If we had 9 more points, everyone would be saying we're a top super team and should expect top 4. If we had 9 more points, we don't have 9 more points. That's what you think I am. This is ridiculous.
That's not what we think you are. That's not what we think you are. That guy, whoever's saying those things, apology if I'm being rude, but whoever says things like that and genuinely watches football, they're a bit of a moron. I'll be real to you.
He's not being rude. He's an absolute moron.
So, like, anyone who says that, football,
I can't believe you just read that out.
That was a joke. You are deluded, though. Like, just because you're dealing with morons does not mean that you are not deluded. You are deluded. Trust me.
That is hilarious.
Absolutely,
that is beyond hilarious. Oh my god!
That's constant every day. Every day, Moyes propaganda, and that's what I have to deal with. But this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm just frustrated. I can't. I was literally just walking down the street, and someone came up to me and going, "Oh, what's going on?" We were just talking about it. I can't see it changing. And this is the point. If they're going to give him 3 games, you might as well sack him. Because we've been here before. If he loses the next game, then we'll sack him. Or if he loses the next game,
they should really be eyeing up a replacement over this break. I would say this is bare minimum. Be talking to somebody and getting something lined up.
Just get some manager.
If you're gonna sack him, like Matisse says, don't just think of just getting any manager. It has to be a manager that actually comes in and will genuinely improve your fortunes.
100.
But this is why you have someone director of recruitment. We got Rob Newman and we got Mark Noble's director of football. Rob Newman's director of recruitment. Yeah, that's their job now, to be look at the players and go, okay, what manager would suit this group of players? What manager could get the best out of these group of players? And that's how you manage that transition. Moyes' style, and he keeps playing the style that doesn't get the best out of these players, then we don't get another manager who plays like fucking. I don't want to hear about Sean Dyche. By the way, all of our fans are convinced that if we sack Moyes, we're destined to get Dyche. It's ridiculous. Dyche is going to Everton. Like that's his job, and that's not a sting at Everton. That's literally a lot of their fans do want him, and he's been linked to that job. But this is the thing as well. If Everton do sack Lampard, then we've got Everton. If they don't get Dyche, we could be competing with them. They could snap up another top quality manager like Aston Villa did, and all of a sudden now
I think you're in much better place than Everton to take. If you lose out on another top manager, like a talented manager to Everton, then God Lord, you're not serious, because Everton's squad is awfully average. Like seriously.
Yeah, all this talk from Toes about we can't get a top manager. Like we got Pellegrini.
I didn't say you can't get a top manager. I said you can't get Pochettino.
Well, just because he was at Spurs.
No, because Poch is above your station.
But that's the whole point. Emery is above Villa's station.
Yeah,
Pellegrini won the league.
Emery was managing Villarreal.
In fact, Pellegrini won more than Flipping Poch.
Mate, listen. When we spoke about this last week, I said to you that it's not out of the realms of it. It's not out of the realms of possibility.
Not having this conversation. I'm not doing it.
What I said to you is, you're not getting.
I refuse to hear this conversation.
I'm just saying, let's not
just give it up on Poch. You're not getting Poch, all right?
I'm just saying, let's not speak in absolutes. Let's just not speak in absolutes. If you want to say, okay, you probably won't get Poch, right? Let's just not speak in that. You're not.
No, you're not. You're not
getting Pochettino. Why does it matter if I say you might not or you will not?
I was before when I was first saying it. I thought like, go and try. But I feel like you behind the scenes have probably tried now and you can't get.
Do you know what makes me sick about Potts and Tobes? Yeah, is they're happy to speak about in absolutes about West Ham, right? Absolutes, this, that. You're not doing this. You can't get that. But you won't put your chest out and speak in absolutes about your own team. Tobes, we should get top 4. Oh, we might be in the race.
Because the statements are nothing the same. The statements are not even the same.
I've said a million times, Spurs will get top 4. I've said that's the objective. I've not deviated from that.
That's the objective. That's the difference. But if you're not saying we're doing it, it's happening, or
we are getting top 4. We're getting top 4 for the umpteenth time. Spurs are getting top 4 this season. When have I not said that? When have I tried to skirt around
be that? Real. There's a lot of time you go, we should do this and we should do that.
I say that about winning a trophy, because winning a trophy is not straightforward. It's not easy. I want us to win a trophy. The target is to win a trophy, but we don't have a divine right to win a trophy, do we?
Do you have a divine right to win top 4? Is that straightforward? Is that easy?
It's not a divine right, but I believe in my manager to get us top 4. I believe Conte is more likely to get top 4 with Spurs than he is to win a trophy. Why is that so hard to say?
Is it more likely that Spurs will get top 4, or is it more likely Pochettino will be the West Ham manager? What's more likely?
Oh, is that how we determine?
Well, that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You're saying the two are the same. Oh, you can talk absolutes. Why can't you talk absolutes?
Look, that's why he's wearing white today, isn't it? He's feeling Spursy.
But this is what I mean. You make me stick up for Tobes. This is how mad you are. You make me stick up for Tottenham fans because you're talking rubbish. This is making no sense what you're saying.
You have a lot of absolutes to speak about my team, but
and we talk about absolutes about our club as well.
I talk about absolutes with Arsenal. I've done it all the time.
Safe ones, isn't it? Safe ones.
We can segue to Arsenal because they did win.
Like Potts will come out and go, "We're finishing top 10, guaranteed. No two ways about it. Arsenal." Top 10. I'll put my house on it. Yeah, okay, yeah. But really stick your neck out there, mate.
Well, let's segue to Arsenal because obviously I know Lawless has always got big opinions on Arsenal, and he's come for many of their players.
I need to address the fans, the Arsenal fans, in a minute. I've got to address.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
you can do that.
You can do
probably
that.
Be right to as well. You can't address me though.
They're not moving in silence anymore. A lot of them.
Listen, the Arsenal fans. Yeah, I've upset some Arsenal fans. They're triggered with me. You know, they're upset. I understand it. Look, you feel like I'm treating you unfairly. You feel like I've got it in for you. This is the problem, right? Is a big section of your fan base that are absolutely insufferable. So insufferable, and deep down you know it. And if you act like you don't know it, you're one of those fans. If more of your fans were like Potts, as much as I give him shit, were like Potts, were like Kenny Ken, Lee Judges, Turkish, fans like that are bearable, that are sensible Arsenal fans that don't just get carried away and throw their chest out every season and every day. you know what I mean? It'd be such a more tolerable fan base, and you know it, like you know about your fan bases, and that's what I'm saying. If you don't, you're one of them, and Potts knows it, and he's said it. And Tobes and Matisse knows it. That's why everyone. It's not even just me. Everyone enjoys the downfall of Arsenal because we like to see those fans, suffer. We like to, because those fans throw it out to every club all the time over the smallest things. And when it comes undone, it's the world's over. So look, if you feel upset, then I'm probably talking about you. If not, then it's not you. Do you know what I mean?
Insufferable? Is it more insufferable because they were insufferable when we were losing? Now it's insufferable when we're actually winning. Is that what's making it worse? Like, be real, because I know you guys are upset with why you hate it. You must hate it. I'd hate it if it was Spurs at the top. I would.
Yeah, it's pissing me off. I'm going to the studio.
Exactly. Everyone's hating it because we're playing well.
But I'm starting to get past the point of Arsenal fans can't dream, because at the end of the day, you're 5 points clear going into Christmas. I know there's less games because obviously the season's been cut short for the World Cup. But let's switch it around this way. You're 2 games away from January transfer window. And we all know that January transfer window is a huge window. We've seen it. Luis Diaz for Liverpool. We've seen Kulusevski and Bentancur. Arsenal, we know that Arsenal need to strengthen in January. But you're 2 games away from the window of opportunity to strengthen. And you could do anything in that window. The possibilities are endless. You don't have to shackle yourselves into a limited squad. You don't have to shackle yourselves into a 13, 14 man squad. You don't have to shackle yourselves into, a weak B team that in the Europa League have looked pretty average, to be fair, at times when they've been called upon to do the business at times. You don't have to do that because you're 2 games away from anything can happen. So I think now because if it was me, I would have some excitement, 100%. I wouldn't be able to maintain composure being in this position at this point. Like, you're in we've had a good enough amount of games now, and this Arsenal team does look a lot more serious. I watched the game against Wolves, and you were very methodical with the way you opened them up, because they were defending pretty all right. It seems like Wolves fans were saying that performance was pretty decent. I know Wolves are not a good team, but at the end of the day, half this league is not very good. Half this league is made up of not very good teams. And if you beat all of those teams, that's a very big step.
You're one of them right now, Matisse. Let me just say that.
Listen, I don't know why you're talking. I don't know why you're trying to. Because they always say this in comments. Why is a West Ham fan always managing to send the most shots? I may not be a very good team, but you are 1 point off the relegation zone. Sir.
No, right.
And you spent a lot of money. We both spent a lot of money, so you can't even run.
How dare you, Matisse, you talk about money. Your success was built on money, But all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that we're one of the bad teams. That's not shots, but I feel like you was distancing yourself from that category. No, come down with me. You're with me,
I'm talking about your Nottingham Forests and your Bournemouths.
But you're not very good, though, are you? Right now. Come. I'm just saying, don't distance yourself. Join us.
He has to get that in there,
I shouldn't distance myself from Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth. I will distance myself. You shouldn't, though, because you're literally right next to them in the table.
We're not many points behind you, though, are we?
Bro, you're literally 1 point off of Nottingham Forest.
How many points about? We're Chelsea on 21. We're on 14. 7 points off Chelsea.
Yeah, decent gap.
Fine margin.
Do you know what it?
And we have a game in hand. So yeah.
Who is that against? Who's it against?
Bournemouth at home. The teams that you fuck with.
You're losing that. You're losing that game. We beat Bournemouth at home, so if you lose,
one of your 4 victories this season.
Man's bragging over beating Bournemouth at home.
How's that bragging?
He doesn't realize his own standards are falling in this conversation.
Can we all agree that Chelsea are not a good team right now? I'm just saying.
We've said that a million times.
We've already said that. We've spent about 35 minutes talking about Chelsea.
Okay, exactly. So when Matisse is talking about,
I'm distancing myself from Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth. Is that a problem?
But you just said, I'm just saying, not very good team. So, but you're not very good.
I think you're just offended because you're the only person on this panel in a relegation battle right now.
There's no relegation battle yet. It's too early for relegation battles. It's on top show last week.
Now, do you know what it is though, right? With Arsenal, right? I understand the fan base thing because I've been saying it for years that we've probably the most deluded and toxic fan base in England, right? And that's facts. But what I don't understand is where people like myself who will say, I'm really happy right now, aren't allowed to say I'm really happy right now. Because I can tell you this, if you three were 5 points clear 14 games in, you'd be really happy right now.
Who said that? Who said
So
you can't be
nobody said
no, I'm not pointing the finger at you three. Calm down. You haven't done that. You've told me not to get carried away, which fair play. I haven't get carried away. I've not said we're going to win the league, and I don't think we're going to win the league. I just don't think we've got the squad depth, bro. If we go by in January, we might be able to talk differently. But for me, that squad is nowhere near.
Give us the absolute spots. Give us the absolute.
Okay, I'll tell you an absolute. If we don't sign in January, we ain't winning the title. There you go. That's an absolute for you. But I believe personally we will sign in January. Whether it's going to be enough quality to have a squad depth of Man City, I doubt it. But
so that
who
tells
knows?
me
Anything
that
can happen.
you believe that you're in the title race.
I do believe we're in the title race.
Oh.
I said that last show.
So why did I have to coax that out of you?
When?
Just now.
Because he plays poker.
No, you didn't. You said talking absolutes. I said I don't think we're going to win the
no,
title.
I didn't say talking
I believe
absolutes.
we're in a title race.
No, so you said if we don't sign players in January, we won't win the league. So I said, so that means that in your opinion now you believe us in the title race.
Yeah, but I said that last week. We're in a title race.
I don't remember you saying that last week.
Yeah, I did, man. Go watch it.
Maybe he might not be there. Maybe
ladies and gentlemen, we got him. That's what you said. As soon as I said title race.
He did say that. Yeah, he toasted.
Now you remember. So listen,
what's different about this than Spurs being top in December? Like, were they in the title race when they were top in December under Mourinho?
When were they top? Were you top in December under Mourinho?
Yeah, you were.
We were top.
Was it top December? Yeah, no, it was.
Really? I think it might have been early December, though. Early December. Then Liverpool.
We're not even halfway through November.
Yeah, but bro, there's not games until Boxing Day.
Yeah, but that's what what are we saying?
No, I think you're right, Matisse. But I think what Lawrence is saying, 14 games ain't 19 games as it would be if we were back in December. So we're 5 games behind where we should be at Christmas time.
Has the title race started in earnest? Can we say right now?
I don't think it started yet. It hasn't started.
And I think you're probably right. And I'm saying we're in a title race right now because that's what I think. Mathematically we are. The question really is it sustainable? And that I like to think that it is because of the momentum and a lot of questions that I feel we've answered. I think we've answered a lot of questions actually in 14 games. And I think there was a lot thrown at us. It will crumble in October. 9 games, or we didn't lose in October. Then we get to the stage of 5 games. They haven't even played anyone yet. Then we beat Liverpool. Then we beat Tottenham. They lost to Man United. They can't win away from home. Then we go to Chelsea. We beat Chelsea. So I feel like we have answered some questions. We'll always get, but they were rubbish, or but that was obvious, or oh my God, you really didn't think you were going to beat Liverpool? They're terrible. Well, what one is it? Because you said we haven't played anyone yet, and when we do play someone big, they haven't played anyone big yet. They were rubbish anyway. So you're never going to win with some fans. It's fine by me.
Do you know what the problem is with you fans though? I just picked you up, your group of fans, good group of fans. You won't give Kroenke credit.
I think he has to do something in this window just to really.
So that's a good question. And that's a really good question. And Matisse has kind of answered that. If Kroenke says, my God, you're going to get top 4. Off you go. I don't need to do anything, thanks. See ya. Then I'll get on his back. Because that's showing no ambition to win a title. Because let's be real. 7 years ago, we were in a title race with Leicester, right? 7 years ago. 7. Not 7 months ago. 7 years of not being in a title race. So when we finally have the chance to be in one, and the ownership says, I don't want to do anything to strengthen because I feel top 4 was the target and we're definitely getting that, I'm going to get on his case. If he goes and says, right, Mikel, what do you need? What do you need? Tell me what you need because you're going to get it. Who do you want to sign? I want to go and get that Danilo brother from Brazil. I want to go and get Tielemans this window. I want to go and put in a cheeky bid for Zaha and see if we can get him from Palace as opposed to in the summer. I want to go and sign Mudryk from Shakhtar Donetsk. Whatever it be, right? I don't expect all of that to happen, by the way.
Do you guys whatever he wants Zaha and Tielemans?
I don't know. There's rumours all. There's rumours all along. Zaha's a big gooner. 6 months left on his contract. He was a massive gooner. He'd like the last move of his contract to be Arsenal. I don't know how reliable the sources are. No idea. It's just people telling me stuff. Mudryk apparently and Danilo are 2 players that we're looking at very seriously from what I'm being told. The Palmeiras situation with Edu is looking likely that Danilo will come to Arsenal. We went in for him in the summer and they said no chance, come back in January. And it's looking like that could be likely. That's the centre, excuse me, that's the centre defensive midfielder that we clearly need. I think a wide forward, centre forwards, yeah, we need these positions. But all I care about, whether you believe names are going to come or not, I honestly believe that Kroenke needs to say to Arteta, what is it you need? Because you're in a title race here. And if I need to spend 100 million or whatever it be this January, I'll do it. Because if that means we have a chance of getting close to City, being 5 points clear already and competing with them, this is what I'll do.
He
Because
said
the drop off
last January, Potts, though, to be fair, not about the title race, but he said to him, here's the money available. I said I can't get the players I want, so I'm not going to sign players for the sake of signing players.
And that's the difference. What is it? What one was that? Was it here's money for Vlahovic or he's going to Juve, whatever? Was it Arteta, I don't want to send any money? Was it Edu, now we tried, nothing was going to happen? Or was it Kroenke saying, I ain't giving you any money?
I think
Arteta come out and said that there was the one that he wanted and he didn't want to sign. Like basically what Moyes said. He said it.
So, yeah. So if it gets to a stage, is Lourdes frozen or is it my screen?
No, he is all over the shop.
He's a little bit, yeah.
Glitching,
Really? Yeah, you look like you're freezing a bit, man. But, lastly on this, right, I will say this. If one of those scenarios happen, I will come for either Kroenke or the Arteta and ask them why the hell they're not going for a title race when it's looking at you right now. Like, we are in a serious situation that I never thought we'd be in. We're playing good football. The momentum's there. The mentality has changed. We can go 1-0 down and now turn games around. We can look solid. We can look defensively good. The player quality is there. Jesus, he's not scoring, but he's definitely changed us and taken us to a new level. I like what I'm seeing. The style of play is attractive.
Really good.
Gabriel was quality, man.
He's
absolute quality. Saliba gets a lot of credit, and rightly so, and so does Ben White this season. But Gabriel was superb for me on Saturday. Absolutely brilliant. If it wasn't for Ødegaard, who, by the way, is our top scorer, someone I said needs to score more goals, is now top scorer at the club. That's good. Keep it going because things are looking good, Matisse. I think it's justifiable for me to have questioned Arteta over the last 2.5 years, personally. But it's not justifiable for me to now be excited about the fact that we're playing better football. We're in a title race currently. Whether you think it's sustainable, another question. We're 5 points clear of Manchester City, 14 games gone. There's nobody behind us at the moment that I look at and go, oh, we've got to be careful of them because they're upcoming. Like, look at Chelsea, look at Liverpool, Man United, even Spurs. I think you're 8 points behind. It's mad. Then we've got a game in hand. I know it's against City. Like, I could comfortably sit on this panel and be quietly confident that no one of you guys are going to finish above Arsenal this season. And I never thought I'd say that.
You should be. I mean, we're not catching you. As far as I'm concerned, we're not catching up to you this season. From the moment we lost at Stamford Bridge, I forfeited that one. So that's not happening.
Maybe West Ham will.
Yeah, maybe.
West Ham. 7 points, mate. 7-point gap.
But listen, I watched Arsenal against Wolves, and you guys played well. You guys played very well, man. I mean, Tobes, Tottenham. I feel like you said everything.
Is Tobes going to give any flowers at all, or sit there quietly?
I didn't watch the game, so I didn't watch the game, bro. So the thing is, if Arsenal play well, I'll give you your flowers. I'll put some jabs in there, but I'll give you flowers. I didn't watch the game, but I did not expect anything less. Wolves are gashed right now, and Arsenal are on form, the best team in the league. So, what were we really expecting here? What were you really expecting?
That's enough for me, mate. Thank you for saying Arsenal are the best team in the league. That's enough.
What about Newcastle, though? Newcastle playing well? Your boys?
They're not in the title race, but they're good.
Boys.
Newcastle,
my boys.
Why Newcastle in the title race? Same reason why you're not going to be in the Europa League next season.
What reason's that? What reason's that?
You just don't have the minerals, mate. You don't have the right stuff.
Newcastle 2 points behind Man City, who everyone's expected to be in the title race.
I mean, again, Newcastle, really, if they wanted to, they should go big in January as well. Go and get a James Maddison.
They will.
They should because they're in a position that they didn't expect to be in as well. There's a lot of teams right now who are massively overachieving that should really seize the opportunity and try and continue the madness. But for me, I can't say who's in what until I see January transfer window because I don't know what the squads are going to look like. But Tobes, I mean, I don't know what more you can say about this Tottenham team that you haven't already said. So I'm gonna let you make this segment as long as or short as you want it to be because Emerson Royale again come from behind again, concede a lot of goals again, same bums in defense again.
Did any of you lot watch the game?
I watched match of the day. I
only watched the highlights. Yeah,
I watched match of the day. I saw the analysis. By the way, I have Rocker and Adams. I have a massive questions as to why they can't track their man, because I'm not happy with them still. I can't lie.
The thing is, funnily enough, Rocker and Adams actually did relatively well on the ball in the second half. There was a period in the second half where they had us, like they were playing, they were the ones that are looking likely to go ahead, and they were popping the ball around us, and it came off the back of a foul. But it was no coincidence that they scored during that period, and it just looked like another one of those sour days. But we dug deep again, and I think this is what you're going to see unknowingly, or this is what we've seen the last month, where we're struggling to put together 90-minute performances, and against sides like Leeds, your Leicesters, like we have enough quality to create in these games and dig us out. But similar to what I said on the Big Six, you're going to come up against sides where you won't be able to recover your position, because you will have the game would have been put to bed. If you're playing up against the very, very best sides, the game's getting taken away from you, as you saw against Liverpool. We played better against Liverpool in the second half than we did against Leeds in the second half, and we lost to Liverpool. Why? Because Liverpool punished us in the first half, and we didn't take our chances in the second half. So with Leeds, yeah, it wasn't a good performance, but honestly, I was not expecting a good performance. I was expecting a performance that was good enough to win the game, and I think we did that. Leeds played well. Don't get it twisted. Leeds played well. They created a lot of chances, and I think you have to score 3 goals. But I think the more concerning thing is our defense literally cannot stop anyone from scoring at the moment. It's really, really
wide open. Yeah,
it's really, really problematic.
Talk about January, man. How important is that for Spurs?
Massive. We need to sign a centre back. It is a must. Spurs absolutely need to sign a centre back in January.
Listen, I said it from the get-go about this Eric Dyer brother. I'm not. He's. I don't think he's good enough.
It looked like he was turning around. He looks like he was improving at one point, and it was like.
But I just don't trust I just don't trust him fundamentally.
You're right.
On the ball, on the ball he can be decent, but I think he just, for me, he's not quick enough. I think and I just don't feel like he's a leader either. I feel like you guys can do much better.
He's a leader. He's definitely a leader. He's just not good enough to be a starter at Spurs. And I think I would not lose any sleep if Spurs said Eric Dyer's transfer listed and he's going to be sold tomorrow. I wouldn't lose a shred of sleep, because Spurs can definitely upgrade on Dyer. But we're in a position now where I'm not really mad at having him as a squad player. But the most I'll tolerate is a squad player role now. He cannot be a regular starter for Spurs, and we absolutely need to go into the market in January and sign a centre back. If we sign another centre back in January, then that means he can be firmly a rotation option. So he won't have to play every single bloody game like he has to right now. But yeah, like the defense is just it's all over the shop right now. And Chicken Royale, the less said the better. Missing sitters, passing the ball into the stands, like it's just a standard. It's a standard Chicken Royale performance, to be honest.
I can't believe this man spent $1 million on his own development. It's insane. Was it really $1 million? Was it? Did they? Are we sure they got those figures right?
100K.
Where did he get 800K from? Like, has he really made that much?
Huh?
What was he? Where did he even get 800K from? What was he making at Real Betis? Was he?
I don't know. He's a Premier League footballer. 800K is what, like 800K is maybe what, like 3 weeks' wages? I don't know. Is it free?
Free?
No, sorry,
how much are you paying this
guy?
guy?
What are you paying him from?
Not free. Sorry, my bad.
You paying him Sancho money?
800. So he's probably Emerson Morales probably earning, I don't know, like 60 or 70 grand.
Maybe 3 months. 3 months money.
60, 70 grand a week. So that's 300. That's 300.
3 months,
Yeah. So 70 grand a week. Let's just say 7 grand a week. That's almost 300 bags a month.
That's disgraceful. These
3 months' wages, though.
How the fuck does he make this much money? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, but he's got sponsorship deals and stuff like that. So like,
who's sponsoring this guy? Who's...
Either way, he can afford. They're multi-millionaires. He can afford to drop 800K on his own development, but for the good of this club and for his own mental. His own sort of like mental resilience, he needs to be dropped. Like, the guy is terrible. He's absolutely awful. He's so bad. And
What
he
is
just
he seeing, Conte?
over and over
I would
again.
love
I
to
don't,
see
know
that.
what he's seeing. I don't know what he's seeing, but I'm not going to spend the show talking about him.
No.
Harry Kane, 12 goals in 15.
Mm.
He keeps scoring. Bentancur, I feel like he's showing people, especially in the last couple of months. I know the goals are the goals, whatever. Yeah, people big him up for the goals, but what I like the most about Bentancur is, even though he didn't have that great at first half, like when the going gets tough, there are only a few players in this team who can rise it, and he's one of those players. He doesn't really shy away from a battle, and he will give what he can give. And I think people are starting to give him his dues. I just hate the fact that it's because he's scoring goals now. He's only scored 4 goals, but I hate the fact that because he's scoring goals now, all
Now
of a sudden
people take notice. Yeah.
you think he's a good player. But
How was Richarlison? How did he play?
he wasn't good. He wasn't good, and the criticism is going to keep getting heavier and heavier and heavier. It's 10 appearances now, and he's not scored a Premier League goal. I can't defend Richie.
I can't be like that's.
I can't defend Richie. You know how much I love Richie. That's my guy.
Insane.
Flop of the
That's my
season,
guy.
man.
So,
Flop of the season.
it's not. You can call him whatever you want. I'm not going to defend it for now. But
We need a Tobes
No
and
goals.
Fuad end of season review on Richarlison.
yeah, we will. Trust me.
Do you know what though? Just quick,
The
I will
Tottenham
say this.
Hotspur show will be one hell of a show that day. I'm telling you, because
What I will say this, right? I love like, you know, the fact that Tottenham are behind us and stuff. But I tell you what, I've always said Tottenham will get top 4, and if they keep Kulusevski fit, this guy is a proper player, mate. He is a proper footballer. I really like everything I see about Kulusevski. I can't
Bowen's better.
like he looks so good.
never said
Bowen,
that.
Bowen and
never
Souček are
said
better
that.
than Kulusevski and Bentancur.
Oh,
But listen,
well,
but Kulusevski for me, I honestly believe he could be exceptionally good. Like I've seen
It's not
seen him
believed.
so high.
He is
21,
he is
22 years old.
22
He
years
is
old.
gonna
what is
be
tribal
unreal.
man? How old is Bowen? I can't believe
How
it.
long before? How long do you think it will take for Kulusevski to get moved to a big club? What do you reckon?
He's 25 years old.
That's
Well, he
actually a
loves
good
it.
question.
He loves it at Spurs, so I don't know.
Well,
He
I
loves
mean,
it.
No, that's,
don't win a
I'm gonna
trophy
be.
in the
I'm
next
with
couple of
Lawless.
years.
I'm with Lawless here. If he carries on putting in performances, bids are gonna come in for this guy, man. He is a quality player. I think he's gonna be.
Yeah, well,
top
good thing
level.
we've got an agreement to buy him on a permanent deal. So yeah.
And then you can sell him and get some money. Sell him to the big boys.
No, we're not going to sell him. We're not going to sell him. But anyway, that's what I wanted to get onto. Kulusevski, Richie needs to start scoring goals, but I believe in his quality. He's a good player. He's just having a really, really poor time in front of goal. He should have had at least one by now. Even there was a chance in the first half where he just get more connection on the ball and you score. But
we're going to start
He did
calling
score.
Shy
He scored
Rodman,
one.
innit?
He scored one. He ripped his shirt off and got booked, and then realized, oh, it doesn't count. That's quite funny.
he scored.
Do
He
you
was
think
fantastic.
him not playing consistently though in the first team
That's
on a
not
regular
risky.
basis in the Premiers are going to affect him? Like he's not able to really get up to pace with the team playing week in week out.
But the thing is with Richarlison, I think he was playing really well for Spurs when the season first started. Our first, probably, I would say, our first. We've played, I don't know, like 21 or 22 matches this season. I would say in our first, maybe our first 9 games across all comps, like Richie was really good, coming on, making an impact. You felt the goal was coming. He had already scored in the Champions League at that point, but since Kulusevski got injured, he was being used in this sort of inside right position, which doesn't really suit him. And then he got injured, and then now he's come back from his injury, and it's like he just needs to do better, and I think he will do better. By the end of the season, I don't think people will be talking about him as the flop of the season. So it's going to be up to him. But either way, Kulusevski, he's the gem, man. He's the gem. He's when I said at the start of the season, I don't think Harry Kane and Son are playing at their best. For me, Kulusevski and Richie have been our best attackers. Now it's outright Kulusevski and Kane. They are bringing the fight for Spurs. Harry Kane had a good game against Leeds, and unlike Lawless's team, we did enough to win. We created something like five big chances at home. Leeds created like 3 or 4. Yeah, we put pressure on them, and they'll fold because they can't really defend well. They defend worse than we do, but we won't get away with it if we play against the better sides.
You know, it's just when I was just Tobe's tweet in my head when he's like, "Oh, Kulu my killie." I always laugh when I see him.
You don't know what that means, so don't. Yeah, don't.
I know, but it's just I know when I see it, and it's like
my brother.
Yeah,
that's my. You know what? Like when a player bangs, when your club sign a player and you're riding for that player and you're fighting in group chats saying, "Yo, this guy is this guy is that," and they're saying, "No, he's this." Kulu is one of those players for me. The amount of people I had to fight in my WhatsApp.
What Spurs fans
that I had to say nope. Yeah, he may not be able to score like double figures right now, but I'm telling you, this guy, immediate upgrade on Lucas Moura, really good player. Oh, he looks slow, he looks this. Now all of a sudden, he's one of our best players.
Lucas Moura.
Just waiting to cast
history will repeat itself with Richie as well.
Okay,
it's just taking a little bit more time, but it's coming.
The chicken is marinating slowly.
What's the nickname for him?
Richie Lad. That's the name.
Richie. Yeah. Shy Ronnie. All right, let's wrap up.
You. You're funny, man. You're a funny guy, Matisse.
You were brought down to yourself, Matisse.
Listen, I have to still send jabs, do you know what I mean, wherever I can. We're gonna wrap up. Dan Potts, bro. Let the people know where to find you, bro. Pleasure as always. Great show, brilliant show.
Brilliant show indeed, man. Love you guys. Listen, if you want to come follow my content, it's at Dan Arsenal 87. And if you want to come over to Football's 12th Man podcast and hit us up on there on the way to 7K people, you'll see Lawless and Tobes on there quite a lot as well. We've got a show coming up on Tuesday night. So yeah, man, we're going to be talking all things for the last weekend. Looking forward to towards the World Cup. So come and show us some love and subscribe. Thank you very much. Cheers,
Lawless.
Matisse.
Pleasure, bro. Lawless. Let them know where to find you, bro. Pleasure as always.
Yep. Brilliant. At the Lawless on Twitter. Come help me fight these deluded West Ham fans who aren't real like me. Yeah. Come join me, West Ham Fan TV. Like I said, Pom Potts' channel. Come see us tomorrow for some Newcastle propaganda that Potts will be putting out there. You can come and find that tomorrow.
There you go. And, Tobes, let them know where to find you, bro. Pleasure. Brilliant as always.
Tapping Tobes. Don't wear it out. See you on the Big Six.
Yeah. I mean, by the time this goes out, Big Six would have already happened. Make sure you check out the Carnage.
See you on the Big Six. See you on London Club's Carnage this show, and then see you on Football's 12th Man podcast.
There you go. Well, guys, listen, you already know I'm going to be taking a little break from these weekly shows now over the World Cup. So London Club's Carnage, Battle of the North, All You Can Eat Chelsea, they're all going to be having their final episodes that you're watching now this week. All 11 a.m. uploads, or the All You Can Eat Chelsea will be live on the Friday, 11 a.m. Obviously, I'm away for a couple of days. And then it will be back after Christmas, after the Premier League games go again. Take a nice little break. I know you love the shows, but
we've got no World Cup coverage on this channel.
I will be covering the World Cup. I will be doing daily updates with Chelsea player watches and also little reviews as well of each stage and each round, and some FIFA streams as well. So plenty of content. Just pausing the weekly shows because I know you love them, so I'm going to take them away from you, and then when you're going to miss them, and then when we come back, you're going to love them even more. So I feel like
how can you miss us if we don't go away?
Exactly, it's very much necessary. So there you go. And big up to the panel, man. This show is almost 2 years consistent. Tobes obviously from the beginning, as is my other show as well. And yeah, man, you guys love them. When people are stopping me, it's mainly Arsenal fans. They seem to want to rep themselves a lot more publicly now in the streets, but they're always saying they love the show. So they said Lawless is the life of the party. They don't agree with the opinions, but they like the lad. So there you go. Smash up the likes, leave the comments, and yeah, see you guys in a bit. Big up. Peace.
Safe.